gonna be good.
No, it's real. Okay, so there was the whole thing about the like tampon and the feminine hygiene. All right? And how it's offensive to certain people. And I'm like,
the phrase or like the actual
the
tampon?
Word feminine on the box.
Okay.
On
gotcha.
the aisle.
Gotcha.
Feminine hygiene. Okay. And here I was like, you know, this is ridiculous. And then it was explained to me by one of my trans friends who said, it was a male transition to a female, but she was saying if female transitioning to a man, he now identifies as a man, and when he has to get tampons or pads, the word feminine is, you know, upset. And then I thought, okay, now I get it. But I just have to be explained.
Well, I think that one way to think about it is, why are we so married to certain ideas and terms as we are? Like, why is it important to protect the phrase feminine hygiene to begin with?
Yeah.
It's really just a phrase that men came up with so that they don't have to say tampon.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You know, so if we can make it more inclusive, what's the harm?
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, so now I get, like, he would be, it would just, you know, be a little
more than offended. It might create some real like cognitive dissonance for that person, where they're feeling like, you know, they don't identify with this product that they're purchasing or their shopping experience. It could be the same as walking into a retail clothing store. It's so central to, you know, self-image.
Yeah. So so there was there, Jen. That wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't. Much better.
It wasn't that bad.
We got to say tampon like 8 times, so.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad for this old broad. A lot of people don't understand the whole, like, all right, so Black trans lives matter. Trans people in the Black community have a hard time. Is it hate crimes? Do you think they experience a lot of hate crimes, right?
Well,
whether it's Black or white, but.
Right, but it definitely seems like a lot of it is hate crimes or just otherwise being marginalized and not given the same resources. Right. A lot of young trans people end up homeless, or they're unable to find work. They're not attending school for different reasons. And I'm by no means an expert on it, so I encourage everyone to look into it. Right. But if you think about it, every minority group that you're a part of intersects. So if you're a lesbian, you're experiencing the marginalization of being a lesbian. Mm-hmm. If you're a Black lesbian, you're experiencing both the marginalization of being a lesbian and being Black. And by the way, in both of those cases, you're experiencing the marginalization of being a woman. So statistically, in terms of the wage gap and any other number of disparities, we see that Black women consistently suffer the most in most of the criteria that we would look at to say, like, is society working? Right. A lot of trans, they do end up homeless, and and they don't have a lot of resources. And I think a lot of them do not get a lot of their anxiety and depression taken care of, which, you know, leads to drug use. I believe a lot of people, obviously, when you're mentally ill, you start to self-medicate and it just spirals. I mean, all the people that I know that were heroin addicts still are, and friends of mine that have passed from heroin, I noticed a pattern where there was a lot of, you know, mental illness, and they started out self-medicating and then it just spirals, you know? Right. It's very sad, but a lot of trans people do end up like working on the streets, and it's a dangerous lifestyle, no matter who you are or what gender, you know, just in general. It's just a very, very dangerous lifestyle. Well, part of the thing that makes it dangerous is that in most places it's not legal here in the U.S. Do you think you think that would make a big difference?
Well, what's not legal?
Work.
Prostitution.
You meant being trans, and I was like, wait, what?
No.
No. Although, you know, Who knows? That could be illegal soon. The Supreme Court just voted apparently that that's not illegal.
Oh,
it went. No, Trump lost that one.
Yeah.
He lost
right.
that,
so
and
orientation is a protection.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, what were we on?
No, I like the whole sex worker thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that even if it was, I mean, I don't know, I go to Vegas and you know what? I still do. I think I did see, like, there's still people prostituting. But if you're a drug addict and you're out there, and, you know, in my area, there's a certain street where they're all known, they're, you know, heroin addicts, they're sex workers. Do you think that would stop?
What, making it legal?
Yeah.
100%
no, right?
No, I think what
we're still going to do it.
Yeah, it's the idea isn't to make it legal so that people stop doing it, but the fact that it's right, the fact that it's legal would mean that it would be easier for a sex worker to report a crime.
Well, then
thank you, Ashley. Yes.
Right now, there's no recourse.
Yes.
It's the same thing with reporting a drug overdose. It's very important that there are no consequences to that, because otherwise people will be deterred from potentially saving a life.
Yeah.
So you can't really protect sex workers if there's no framework for protecting them.
See? Ding, ding, ding. See, Jen, how it works?
There you go.
There you go.
What do you want? Another article?
Yeah, sure. We'll do another article.
Trans or
no? Let's do Kanye.
Oh Lord, love
boy.
Let's do.
You
this
guys are like
one.
the best sitcom on TV right now. Like, this is better than Tiger King. What's going on?
It's very similar. It's similar.
Okay, so I'll tell you. So Kanye's running for president. He made the Twitter announcement. Honestly, Ashley, I just thought he was just not really serious, but he didn't submit the paperwork. But they say he's running under a new banner called the Birthday Party, and he's got the help of Elon Musk.
So this is the crazy thing with Elon Musk. Supposedly they have been friends for years, and he actually asked Kanye if he wanted to be head of his space program. Like, what?
Yeah. I mean, I read something similar, that Kanye was like, okay, when I'm president, Elon gets to be head of the space program.
But that's cool.
Because of the whole SpaceX thing.
I'm for that.
There are a couple of interesting friends. Listen, I think taking private space exploration out of it, Kanye, where do you begin unwinding that mess? Obviously, so many reasons he shouldn't be running. So silly that in the midst of everything that's going on in this country, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West are just making a spectacle of themselves.
Thank you.
It shows
Shouldn't that bitch rein him? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm calling her a bitch in this situation, okay? Like, bitch, come get your man. You can't.
Here's the thing. Some people look at Kanye West and say, okay, he's a black man. Either why doesn't he see these obvious things like racism? Why does he support Trump? Or, he's black and he feels this way, so it must be acceptable. But here's the thing about intersectionality, like we were talking about earlier. It works both ways. So you can be so rich that you forget you're black.
Yeah, absolutely.
And forget what it was even like.
Please, girl, I know people they're so rich they forgot they were.
Right,
people so rich they forgot they used to live in a trailer.
Exactly.
Some white people.
Well, Kim forgets that she's white, and apparently, if you have $1 billion, you can benefit from whatever culture you want. So that's what Kanye's doing.
Actually, I think she would be the better one if the two of them are set on like living in the house. I feel
agreed. Let him be first lady. At least Kim's got a resume. Kind of.
You know what?
Right? And she looks like she's trying to like be helpful with her, get people out of jail and stuff.
She is. I'm telling you.
She's using her platform for good. Kanye's out here saying that slavery was a choice.
Oh, God. Ashley, he's mentally ill, though.
Not that I disagree. I struggle with the conversation around Kanye's mental illness because he's been forthright about it. And I think that's really important, just generally, but especially for the Black community. And I don't want to kind of dismiss racism and
I get it.
the kind of racially insensitive stuff that he does as mental illness.
I do. I understand.
It's not. It's institutional and it's directly attached to his wealth.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely.
He just turned his wife's bathroom into a forest. He doesn't know shit about slavery. I mean, I can't even. That's literally the story. He turned the bathroom into a forest.
He's just, and also I think like he is just such a narcissist that on top of everything, it's just, it's beyond him. But then the few times I see him on the Keeping Up, because I'll binge it when it's on all day sometimes, and I'm like, he really is kind of sweet.
Yeah, it's almost it's like being a good reality star doesn't necessarily make you a good president or something.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
So he debunked that he was trying to get in there to take some of the Black votes from Biden, which I don't even believe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Kanye has a strategy.
No. And then for a minute I thought, did Trump put him up to this? Because his people are like, oh yeah, he'll get. Nah, I don't even think that's the case. Now he's saying he's not friends with Trump anymore. He said that he had the COVID in February, but he's very suspicious of the vaccine and he is anti-vax. And he called vaccines the mark of the beast.
Okay, and here's the crazy thing about COVID and vaccines and Kanye and Black people. Black people and people of color are getting sick and dying from COVID at higher rates than anybody else in this country. So Kanye using his platform to tell people not to get vaccinated when it comes out is
fucking insane.
Trash.
Yes.
It's booty trash.
Right. And I'll tell you, yeah, and because you know why? Because people that are running this country right now are, lower paid, white and Black folks running this country. That's why and I'm one of them. I'm out there delivering pizza to the fat. I'm out there doing my part, but yeah, I mean, and it's true. I mean, I go shopping everywhere I go, think of it, all the bus drivers, everybody running those subways.
Yes.
I mean, the lower income people are the backbone. We're running this damn country right now,
Absolutely. I mean, we run a moving company and we shut down temporarily at the start of COVID because we couldn't really get enough PPE to protect the movers.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody, we sent out a message once after George Floyd's passing, just kind of letting our customers know to please remember that their movers are people. They're commuting to work during a pandemic. They are touching your stuff and going into your home because you need them to and because they need to work and they're supposed to go home to their families. Yep. So please be considerate.
Yep.
It's true though. It's regular people who are running the country right now. And I think that's why we've all kind of started leaning toward activism a little more, because who else is going to do it? Apparently nobody.
Right. Okay. Really quick though, Ashley, I wanted to can you explain defund the police?
Oh, that,
I know it's a big one. I mean, I know, I mean, I've, read about it. I read the breakdowns of it. I know a lot of right wingers look at it as completely abolish the police, but I have a few friends that are really pushing to get the police abolished. Yeah. And then I want to know what the fuck we do.
So there are two camps.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
There's defund and abolish.
Okay.
And I think, again, going back to feminine hygiene and ding tampons, drink, that we should think about why we want to protect certain concepts or why we take issue with certain words, terminology, and how it keeps us from really engaging with what that idea is. So defund the police and abolish the police both sound really scary to people who feel protected by the police.